Hello and welcome to the Bowling University studio from the International Bowling Campus in Arlington, Texas. I'm Gerald Morrow and this is The Profit Break. We're glad you're here. Give us 15 minutes and you'll be well on your way to improving yourself and your profitability. For many small businesses, digital marketing and social media advertising, specifically Facebook ads, can be intimidating as we don't often consider ourselves tech savvy. Knowing where and how to spend your precious marketing budget is hard enough without layering in technology. Well, you're in luck with today's guest who makes the internet a friendlier place for small business owners. Joining us is Nicole Krug, who is the founder of Socialite, where she helps clients hone their digital marketing strategies to bring more exposure to their brand while boosting the bottom line. Nicole, thank you for joining us today, and it's great to have you with us again here on The Profit Break.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I am always thrilled to be part of the BPAA and love doing these type of education sessions, so I'm glad to be here.
Well, I know you've got a lot of content today because this whole thing of Facebook ads can be really overwhelming, and
Mhm.
I want to make sure that you got plenty of time to share it. So I'm going to let you kind of jump in and take it over from here.
Fantastic. So, what I thought we would do today is kind of look at what it takes to do a Facebook ad because there is an easy way to just boost a post, which means that, hey, I want to bring more attention to it. But what it also means when you just do a generic boost is that Facebook can show your ad to anybody they want. Which, if your ad center is in Montana and they're showing an ad to somebody in New York, that's probably not ideal. So, what I'm going to do today is that I am going to walk through how to use an ad with Facebook's Ad Manager, which is a capability that it is under the Meta Business Suite. I know that's a fancy name, but really what it means is it is a control center that lets you place ads on both Facebook and Instagram at the same time. So it's kind of a 1-2 punch. That makes it convenient, but it also means there's a lot of little steps and parts and pieces that you need to go through. So I've got the link up on the screen, which is adsmanager.facebook.com and then ads manager. And you should see something that looks around like this. And what you're going to want to do is click on this big green button that says, I want to create a campaign. And the first thing that it's going to do is say, great, what is the objective of your campaign? And when you look at the list, what you're probably going to say is, well, heck, I want sales, doesn't everybody? And that is true. But in this context, sales means it's something that's likely to be happening online. That may not be what you're doing. And so, where you might actually just be able to get away with something called an awareness ad, which is something that shows a screen that says, hey, Cosmic Bowling from 7 to 9 Saturday nights. That's all people need. They'll roll into the center on their own without having to interact with you. But in this case, what I thought we would look at is a traffic ad. And I'm going to use the example of we want to promote kids' birthday parties at your center. And so what we want to do is use Facebook to raise awareness. And then we want people to click over onto the actual website to get more information. So now that we've got the traffic ad, the first thing they're going to say is, well, hey, do you want us to do this for you? I mean, we know all the best practices and we can do that. That sounds great, especially if you are not terribly familiar with it. But this is also telling Facebook, yeah, here, take my money, spend it however you want. That's not usually how I like to approach things. And so I like to select the manual traffic campaign, which gives me more control over my options. And when we walk through the different steps, I'm going to show you what's different that you see on the manual campaign versus their tailored best practices. Let us do this for you. So when you go up there, what it's going to say is, okay, you want to do traffic. Where do you want to send that traffic? And what it's going to default to is messaging apps. In case, like, what it says is, hey, you want people to contact you, right? So maybe they should reach out through WhatsApp, Instagram, and you say, yeah, maybe not. But what in this case, I want to send traffic to a website. So this is the button that I'm going to click on this. Now, what you might actually say is what I want to do is I want to get calls. So you can choose that option too. Lots of pros and cons for this, but for our example, we're going to go with website traffic. Now it is going to say, okay, tell us about your budget and the schedule you want to run the ads. Now you see, as a default, it is going to set a daily budget of $20. But if you look at this fine print, it says, hey, by the way, just when we see good opportunities, we might raise that up to $25 a day. You don't really have a thing to say, no, I want to click it at $20 unless you use the drop down to switch from a daily budget to a lifetime budget. So if you've got 50 bucks, that's your hard budget that you want to do, that's fine. And you know what? If you've got 10 bucks, that's your hard budget, that's fine too. The one thing that you should take away from this is you don't have to spend tons of money on Facebook to be effective. And in fact, I'm going to tell you, I actually like starting with lower budgets to see that things are working and kind of do a test case before I throw $100 or more at something. So you can absolutely do small budgets. But you might also want to be mindful of an end date because again, this budget, it says, well, I'm going to do it $20 a day for you. But for how long? For a month? For a year? That is going to rack up some budget for you. So if you want to spend $10 a day for 5 days, you can absolutely do that. Just make sure you click this end date so that you set that control and you keep your budget in mind. Next up, we are going to talk about the audience. And this is a big deal. This is a big part of doing your Facebook ads with something called targeting, which means getting in front of the right audience. And so again, by default, it is going to start out with showing ads to people in the United States, 18 to 65, all genders. So that is, again, every adult in the country. It's probably a little bit broad. So keeping in mind, I am in Silver Spring, Maryland. So if that's where my center is, I'm gonna pop my town into the little feed, the location, and it says, great, do you want to show this ad to a radius of 25 miles around you? And that sounds good, but let's think about, are people really going to drive 25 miles to your center? That might be a little high, especially if you're in a populated area and there's lots of competition around. So you might actually want to set that down to more like 10, maybe 15 miles of a range. Then you're going to go down and you're going to look at the ages and genders. Now, I'm thinking that it's probably going to be moms of young children that are organizing the birthday parties. So I'm going to put an age range of 25 to 40, and then I'm going to say, I want to show this to women. This alone is going to do a really good job for you. Again, we don't want centers, I don't want people in New York seeing this ad because it's not going to help me. I want to be in the locations and I want to be in the right age range. But I can go further because the next thing that it's going to say is, okay, well, let's include people that match these characteristics. Now, if you start typing parent in, it's going to start giving you some suggestions of what that might mean in terms of interests. A parent educator is a job title. It's probably not as applicable. But if you see up here, we've got the options of when you just type, it gives you suggestions by default. But if you click on this browse button, you can actually explore the different demographics that you're going through. So I can choose not only people who are parents, I can hone in on the age of the kids. So I'm thinking that this would be most applicable for parents of 6 to 8 year olds or maybe 9 to 12. Anything too lower than that, they're probably too young. Maybe once they're teenagers, it's not as cool. But you know the demographics of your center and what makes sense. And so you can pick and choose what is going to fit your audience to go through there. Now, on the right side of the screen, when you're doing this, you're going to have this column the whole time that says audience definition. So what it's telling you is, of these things that I have plugged into Facebook, that has the potential to reach 9,300 to 11,000 people. That's a really good group, right? And then it estimates your daily reach. Reach means the number of people that are going to actually see your ad. So it's saying, based on my budget and my parameters, I'm going to reach between 682 and 2,000 people each day. And that is likely to bring me somewhere between 6 and 25 clicks over to my website for more information. Now, keep in mind, these are not guaranteed results. This is just kind of an estimate based on averages of what you can expect your ad to do. Now, this is one thing that I told you we were going to talk about in the manual campaign options. They give you a nice feature that says, okay, well, you picked your parameters, but would you like it to compare to if we do it for you? this is a really good thing, especially if you're new and you're not terribly confident in yourself. Just be mindful that if you check this button, it is going to double your budget. So if you were at a $40 budget, it's now going to give you an $80 budget. You might accept that. But if you say, you know what, I want to go, I really need to keep it at $40, $50, right? So then you can back out and you can say, I'm going to drop that down from $10 a day to $5 a day, run it for 5 days, and then that'll give you both. So it's a fun feature, something you can do. Just be mindful of how it's going to stack up your budget. Now, here is the biggest thing in terms of the manual campaign options, which is the placements. Is you have the option to show it on Facebook, on Instagram, on Messenger, and on Audience Network. Now, even if I want to advertise on both Facebook and Instagram, sometimes I choose to actually run separate ads because I want to compare what's more effective, Facebook or Instagram. But here's the thing I want you to know. The Audience Network means sites and apps outside of Facebook. So if you've ever gone to, let's say, Netflix or some other website and it says, hey, do you want to log in with Facebook? And you say, yes, I want to do that. That's convenient. That is a connection to them, and that makes them in their Audience Network. But you don't know what those sites are. You don't know what the apps are. And chances are, when it's on other places, they don't have all the demographics that Facebook has. And so this is a great way to eat up your budget without a whole lot of results. So more than anything else, I always check the manual campaigns because I want to uncheck this box. I don't ever run ads on Audience Network. So just be mindful of that one. Now we are going to actually create the ad. And in this case, we are going to do an ad with a single image. And so once we load it up, it is going to give us a preview of what that looks like on all the different places that it's going to be shown. And you can say it looks great on this left column. The center column, not so much. And the right column, okay, but it's not quite a fit. So that means you have a couple options. Is one, you see under each column, there's a button to replace. So if you do want this to show in Instagram's stories, you can take out the square image and put more of a portrait style image that's going to actually fit the parameters. On the flip side, maybe you say, no, I want to use this particular image. I don't want to resharpen it. And so if that's the case, then you want to go back to the placements and you say, and you uncheck stories and reels so that you are only placing things in the newsfeed because that's where the image is going to work the best. Now let's talk about the content of your ad, what it's actually going to say. And what I hear from a lot of people is they want to run ads, but they're not really that creative. They're not wordsmiths. And that is actually okay because Facebook has built in AI into their ad manager. So what you can do is you can just start typing some basic text about planning a birthday party, and you see that it's going to generate options for you. And you say, you know, I really like options 1 and 3. I want to use that instead of my ad text. Totally doable. Then you have a headline, which is what comes in not just in the body of the text, but actually under the image next to the text. Again, what you can do is you can start doing a basic fun birthday party in Silver Spring and use the text generator to kind of spice it up or come with a few more ideas. Now the button, you can change that up. You can actually choose if you don't want a button at all, so you want more space for the headline, you can do that. Or you can say, I want to switch instead of contact us, I want to be book now, or learn more. Or maybe your headline says $10 off when you mention this ad and you would like to get promotion. All totally doable. You cannot type in your own text. You have to choose what buttons Facebook is going to give you, but they do give you a few options here. The last piece that you have to have in this type of ad is the website that you are going to send people to. Now you notice there's 2 different links to it. This top one, the website URL, that is the place where you absolutely want to send people. So it would be the birthday party page on your website. And if you're wondering, thinking to yourself, do I have to have a birthday party page on your website? Yes, you do. If you want to know why, please feel free to reach out to me. But that's where you want to send people directly to the place that has the information on the stuff you're advertising. However, that long link may not fit well in that little space under the image because it's a little bit longer and clunkier. So what the display link is doing is it's giving you an option to show an abbreviated kind of cleaner version just for the cleanup for the ad. If you don't want to put it in there, that's okay. Just know that's the difference between the two. The last thing under here is browser add-ons. So it says, hey, do you want to give them an option for people to call you directly, when they click it, that they can call you directly from, or maybe go to WhatsApp. This is a great idea to add in, just given some people like to email, some people like to call and just get the information directly. So make it easy for them. The last thing I am going to note on this is if you have a marketing person or a developer or somebody that is super into analytics and wants to track anything and everything, you have the ability to include URL parameters and custom tracking, and you can go crazy. If that just sounds like Greek to you, don't worry about it. It is not necessarily. Just know that if it's an option or if it's something you or your team wants, it's totally available for you. So I realized that I just threw a ton of information at you on the fire hose. And I'm going to tell you that I know a lot of it is hard to absorb. There's a lot you can find on Google and information, but if you have questions and you want to say, okay, really, let's break down what's an awareness ad versus a traffic ad, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Nicole, excuse me. Yes, that was so much information, so quick, but at the same time, I'm like, this is on video, so they can literally just pause it and follow step by step. I mean, you just walked me through doing a Facebook ad for birthday parties and gave me all the parameters and talked about the targeted audience, the demographics, to be able to segment data down to if they're parents of kids in that 8 to 12-year-old range is priceless. I mean, talk about spending your money to really get in front of your audience. That is gold. That is truly gold.
It really is, because your ads are going to make a difference. Like, their ads are going to work for you if you're in front of the right people. But there's so many options. Unless you know that type of information is available, you would never use it, right?
Yep, it's intimidating, but you have definitely made it simpler and easier for us to understand. We appreciate you taking the time out today to share with us some information on Facebook ads and kind of walk us through this process. And we hope to have you back soon. If you have any questions or need help navigating Facebook ads, you can always reach out to Nicole directly via her Socialite website or by contacting her via email or giving her a call. She'll be happy to help you walk through this process. And if you're ready to start improving your profitability, you can reach us at any time at education@bpaa.com. As we wrap up another edition of the Profit Break, remember, when your focus is on growing people, people will grow your business. This episode, as well as other previous Profit Break episodes, are available 24/7 for you and your team at bowlinguniversity.net. Plus, new episodes are available every month, so mark your calendar, watch your email, and join us on Facebook to hear about the latest shows. Until then, I'm Gerald Morrow, and do for one what you wish you could do for everyone. We'll see you next time.